Indian Madhyamam Kulapati, Sri Kuldeep Nayyar View Point in the Adidi. Sambhav Bahulamaya Indian Rashtriya Samuhika Sahacharyangale നേരിട്ട് മനസ്സിലാക്കുകയും റിപ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്യുകയും ആ അനുഭവങ്ങളിലൂടെ കടന്നുപോവുകയും ചെയ്ത 6 പതിറ്റാണ്ടിന്റെ സമ്പന്നമായ ഒരു ജീവിത കാലയളവാണ് ശ്രീ കുൽദീപ് നയ്യാറിനുള്ളത്. ഇന്ത്യയുടെ സമകാലിക രാഷ്ട്രീയ സാഹചര്യങ്ങളെയും വർത്തമാനകാലത്തെ മാധ്യമപ്രവർത്തന രീതികളെയും കുറിച്ച് ശ്രീ കുൽദീപ് നയ്യാർ വ്യൂ പോയിന്റിൽ മനസ്സ് തുറക്കുന്നു. Sir, a very warm welcome to the program.
Thank you.
I am most glad to have you in this interview, sir.
Thank you very much.
Sri Kuldeep Nayyar, let me start this interview from your old days, the days when you start journalism, the time you start writing up. So my mind goes back to the days when you work as a cub reporter for this Urdu newspaper Anjam. So your first assignment was reporting the Gandhi assassination.
No, he said there is an Urdu paper here, Anjam, which is looking for a Hindu knowing Urdu.
Oh, right.
So
they were searching for a reporter who is...
They were searching somebody on the desk.
Okay.
Who could translate from, etc. So, and they were wanting a Hinduism. So, it was a Muslim League paper. Now things have changed. So when I went there, they made me to write. I wrote and they said the job is yours. So I started with them.
So that love for Urdu you still keep in your mind, your heart.
Now love for Urdu is basic to me. I'm very fond of Urdu poetry. I'm very fond of Urdu writing. I stick to that.
So let me come to the point then. The journalism of your times, I think, was very different. So can you tell me, Mr. Nayyar, how different was the journalism of your times from that of today? Was it more virtuous? Was it more meaningful? Was it more glamorous?
It wasn't glamorous, but it was more meaningful, I would say that. When one wrote not for the sake of writing, but meant something more than that. Now, when I joined, a few days later I was on the desk, when this teleprinter bell rang, and so I went there. It was there, Gandhi shot. I said, my God. So I took a friend to drop me at Birla House. When I went to Birla House, there was nobody yet. Nehru had come, Pandit Nehru. Sardar Patel was there. But Lord Mountbatten came before me, so he saluted the body. So I recall that Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he was the Prime Minister. He went to the wall there, stood there and addressed the people. He said, Bapu is no more. There is no light which will we see. We have to grope in the darkness now.
Yeah, the light has gone out. That was the famous historic speech of Nehru.
I started just like now. Gandhi assassination is coincident as it can now. I started from there, and then from there in that locality, there used to be a very famous Urdu writer, and freedom fighter also. So he asked me, he said, look here, there is no future of Urdu in India, so you should switch over to English. So I resigned and went to America, and there I worked way through and earned a degree, I would say, and that is Northwestern University, Medill School of Journalism. I did MSc in journalism that way.
Actually, I have some more questions on that. Your days as a reporter in Anjam, when you went to report Gandhi's assassination. Somewhere I read that you literally wept over that. when you go to
Yes,
report.
yes,
So,
yes, because,
how does it happen for a reporter who is supposed to report these things, you know, in an objective way?
I was so moved myself that I wept. So when I came back in the evening to write the copy, there was a riot in Pune, Hindu Muslim. So I didn't. I said no. So the next day, the editor said, we have missed this thing. I said, I did not use it because I said, oh my God, again we are in the midst of Hindu-Muslim riot when we have lost Gandhi, etc. He said, young man, whatever be the situation, we have to report. We cannot have our own choice because reader is waiting for us. So we are only a sort of conducive line where we just convey. We don't have control over the news. So whatever the situation, we have to report because the readers are waiting. So I understood this personal kind of
no place.
Don't mean anything.
So I was asking you about the difference between the journalism of your times when you started this work and that of now. So here we have a perception today that all these media have become part of the corporate institutions, and they are, you know, they are constructing decisions and consent of people. So how do you view, how do you perceive these things? Will you, you said the journalism of your time were more meaningful. When you say that, what does it mean? Does it mean that today it has lost its meaning?
No, meaningful means that at that time it was not only reporting, I must say, this or that. It meant also why this thing happened.
Yeah.
So that way I said it would be meaningful, going behind the news.
There was an inquisitiveness, an investigative,
and also a feeling that you care, why should it happen to the country? Why should it happen to the society? So there was more than that. So just reporting, no, that was all right. But why this thing would happening to the country? Because country has already lost Gandhi. So that way it had more meaning.
So now the accusations are there on the news persons, like they are standing for some political party, for some other persons or some interest, and they are working for that. So it has been said over and again that there is no such thing called objective reporting now. Everyone stands for someone, everyone try to propagate some kind of idea, they stand for some kind of political ideology. Do you subscribe to this view?
Well, I do feel that the news which was news in our time has become politicized. Now when a person is reporting, if he is a BJP man or a congressman, so it reflects in his writing.
Mm-hmm.
While reporting means what happened objectively without any kind of involvement. But now I find that this news has become politicized, and if the person is a BJP, and it reflects it. And in fact today mostly it is reflected in BJP.
Being a political commentator, you have often given your views freely. You have expressed your perspective very freely. And during the days of partition, Mr. Nayyar, you have said so many times that it has brought you so much pain in your heart as a reporter, and you have said that it could have been avoided. Right. It was that days of partition that made you feel confirmed or affirmed about the idea of pluralism. So
because it the country was divided on the basis of religion. This line was drawn
purely on the basis of religion.
Pakistan, India, and today, even today, we are suffering for that because we think Pakistani all Muslims and this side all Hindus. So that is an oversimplification, but there it is. And today, when this time some in India, for example, now.
No, when you say that this could have been avoided, then on whom will you put the blame? On Nehru or on Jinnah?
No, ultimately it would be Jinnah who would have to bear the blame. I'm saying Nehru could be blamed that he couldn't save the partition, but it was Jinnah who really was responsible. And I recall that Jinnah came to our college, law college, when I was student last year. And he, at that time he said, look here, we are two nations, Hindu and Muslim. He didn't agree, but this is his point of view. And on that basis, there was a partition. So when the partition is on the basis of two nations, Hindu and Muslim, there was bound to be a communal atmosphere, which is today. Even today, there is a smattering of soft kind of Hindutva is in India.
And if I am correct, you still hold and as one of your favorite slogan, this one, Hindustan, Pakistan, Unity Zindabad. It is still your favorite slogan, I think.
And not only that, this partition or that day party, I started burning candles on the
on the frontiers.
Yeah. And now it's such a popular thing that lots of thousands of people go on that 15th of August from that side and this side also.
So you're optimistic over that one day these issues will be resolved. So we have so many governments, one after other, getting changed over, and everyone is committed to solve this issue of India-Pakistan enmity. Yes. But there is no solution. Are you optimistic over this issue?
Oh, no doubt about it. That it would happen. After they can have wars, whatever, then what they go to? Again, peace table. So I think it would happen. Maybe it would not happen in my lifetime, but it would happen.
But every time it gives us some kind of a indication that this is going to end. But the next time, the next hour, it again happens.
So we had also 3 wars on that, but still, after war we have gone to the negotiating table again. After it, what would happen? You couldn't finish them, they couldn't finish us. So someday they would happen. Someday when they both really realize, look here, it's no use all the time quarreling. Why don't we sit and talk about the whole thing?
So about all these peace talks that have happened till now, it is observed that there is no sincere attempt, there is no sincere steps taken from either side to put it, correct.
No, I wouldn't say that. I think there has been some attempt, serious attempt, but they cannot solve the problem which faced them. And now the problem has become Kashmir. So that is the reason that it's not happening, but it would happen one day.
So Kashmir again is an issue that is not going to solve in a day or two, because it is day after day it is getting more and more vulnerable. Complicated.
I was recently there in Srinagar talking to these boys. So they want independence themselves. They want a sovereign Islamic Republic of the Valley, Kashmir.
Not to India and not to Pakistan.
They want another. So that has become another problem. How to sort it out?
Do you think that is the ideal way of?
No, I think that ideal way would be that let there be some kind of committee which talks about Kashmir, and they go on talking about Kashmir. And the other, India and Pakistan, the rest, they should start trade, they should start business, industry, so that the goodwill generated from here will also affect there. That is my point.
So the committee should include representatives from both sides, from
Both
India
sides
and Pakistan.
And they
But-
go on talking on Kashmir.
But still, that basic issue will still remain burnt, because the people of Kashmir, they want freedom, they want azadi, they want they
that
want to
is-
stay as independent state.
Yeah.
So,
But now that is not part of the partition formula. Partition formula was India, Pakistan. No, nothing else. There wasn't a Kashmir also would be independent. No, there wasn't. In fact, Kashmir was very much less at that time.
so in your career that spreads over 6 decades, you have got you know, a wonderful time spending with almost all the leaders of India and Pakistan, including Srimati Indira Gandhi, right up from Nehru to Indira, Lahul Bahadur Shastri, so many. But you have been very critical over Indira Gandhi, especially during emergency days where you were put on jail. that time. So-
Apart from that, this was as if we had lost democracy. I'm saying thanks to the Janata Party which put it on the rails again. Otherwise, we had lost the democracy because she introduced her own rule and her own people, etc.
It was a one-man rule.
One woman rule.
1 point rule, right? Okay, yeah. When you analyze the current political situation where Mr. Narendra Modi and his party is being criticized from every side for being, you know, undemocratic in some ways, will you say that the Indira's the way the Indira ruled is again happening in India by Modi?
Well, Indira, one thing plus about Indira was that it was not communal. In Modi time, it has become also communal. So that way it is worse, I would say.
It is more worse. Modi's is more
worse because communalism has come, apart from other things. So that is not. You see, India is a pluralistic state, and India in the Constitution preamble, we the people, and there is that we would be. It is a secular state.
Yeah.
So that doesn't exist in that one, because no Modi doesn't talk about it, but Modi's lieutenants, all RSS and others, they are openly communal.
So when I personally follow you, I mean your approach to these issues, I have felt so many times that you are not much critical on Modi when compared to your approach to Indira.
No, because Modi
you have been less critical.
No, I wouldn't say that, because I haven't got the opportunity to meet Modi, never, and I haven't. I do write critical of his party, but since I haven't met him, so I don't really register him at all. But his party, I am very critical of.
Yeah, there are so many issues are coming up, including this, you know, this mob lynching, then several types of attacks over the minorities and everything. So you said that there is a communal element is working everywhere. And do you have the feel that all the institutions, all the virtuous institutions, including the democracy, is getting degenerated these times? Are we under serious threat?
Well, they are getting diluted. I wouldn't say degenerated, diluted. And I think we all people who are secular or who are pluralistic in mind, they should try that the train which is off the track now, put it back on the rails.
Whose responsibility is that primarily? Because the Grand Old Party of India, the Indian National Congress, is still not in a, you know, in a healthy condition to take on Modi even this time, even when Rahul is on the helm of this.
Yes,
yeah.
I agree.
Then what should be the modus operandi for that? Do you mean that there should be a broad secular democratic platform to deal with this issue?
I personally think that all those people who believe in secularism, they should come on one platform. Otherwise, if they go on fighting among themselves, then they would have the upper hand.
So you talked about having making a broader secular democratic platform, but the CPIM is not actually they are not in a situation where they can appeal to the masses in this way, because there are issues in Kerala, there will be issues in Bengal also. So what do you think about this chaos that is happening in the party, in the left party CPIM?
These people, they have a particular point of view and they want to force it, because they believe that they are correct in their approach, and if it is left to others, they would destroy this basic structure of India.
So how is it going to affect the future of the left parties, mainly CPM? So this infight.
Well, left parties are fighting at the moment. I think if Karat had his way, or Chichuri had his way, then there would be some kind of broad platform for secularism and democracy.
The main issue within the CPM is based on two matters. One is how to identify this Modi government, whether it is a fascist government or whether it is a government having religious fanaticism or like that authoritarianism, as Karat puts it. That is one issue, and another one is the electoral tactics that they should follow. So how will you define this Modi regime? Will you say this as a as a fascist government?
Or it's not a fascist government, but it is anti-secular.
Anti-secular.
Because they have their own agenda, and that agenda comes from RSS. The future of secularism in this country is very dark.
So what is the political solution for that?
All those anti-BJP forces should come together and fight, because at the moment they are fighting among themselves. No, they should come together and say, first our agenda is to fight him, and then we shall see.
What will be the future of journalism in India? How do you see that? Is it bleak? Is it bleak?
Now journalism is not English journalism, now it's a language journalism, and my God, Malayalam, Telugu, Hindi, Urdu.
How do you feel the role of social media in constructing the popular?
Yes, it is. It happens because social media is now watched very widely, and it's good that social media should be used that way. And whatever your views, put it on the social media. These judges also, as they have done it now.
So the future is for the social media?
Absolutely, social media is this future. Future is that way. I mean, say, in our country, written word is very important still. I'm saying you can't say it would go away. Written word will stay, but social media has become very important.
So you are now 94. You are 94. How is your health, and what's your wish?
My health is all right, and I wish that I could see India's democracy taking still deeper roots, and the country becomes also secular. So I have the idea of India is secular, democratic, and I hope and I pray that it would come into being.
May it happen. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Pleasure talking to you.